Hello new viewers, and that's all of you, because this is my first real video. If you're like me and you clicked on this video, you probably have hands like this.
Look at this dude.
Or a neck like this.
No, 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 no.
I'm making this video because when I was first injured, I broke my neck, I became a C6 quadriplegic, I was in rehab, and I was watching all of my friends play all the latest games, and I couldn't do it because when my hands tried to use a controller, it looked like this.
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
So I'm here to make a quick, comprehensive guide for quadriplegics that are looking to get back into gaming and realize that there is hope, you can do it, and it's awesome. So, whether you were an avid gamer before your accident, or you're just looking to get into casual gaming, that doesn't matter. I think it's important that you give it a try, because it's a therapeutic way to escape the world. There are great storylines, some are based on challenge, some aren't, and you can do all of it. But we're gonna get into that. So what was my solution? Eventually, I decided on PC gaming. And I know, that's expensive. I was thinking the same thing, but don't worry. I started off with a very, very cheap computer. In fact, with some of the games I'm going to mention later, you can basically run it on anything. And it's a good way to just test the waters and get into it. I saw lots of articles with very expensive hardware about gaming PCs and adaptive controllers and everything like that. And quite frankly, I didn't have the money to shell out on a whim hoping it would work for me. I would highly recommend starting with something cheap or something that you already own. That's what I did. From there, if it does work for you, you can upgrade. And then it's a worthy investment because you're getting a powerful computer and one that you know is helping you game. But once I got that first PC, I started experimenting. How do you make it adaptive? Since I started gaming in 2014, I have not spent anything more other than a computer on a mouse, an external keyboard, and a simple touchscreen stylus attached to a hand grip meant for arthritis that is easily available on Amazon. I started with simple stuff because my computer was not very powerful, it was cheap, and if you do want to go into higher end games or more technical games, that's still possible as well. Dropping a bomb on myself and running!
Oh, a bunch of guys behind you. I can't see them. Oh shit, people. Who did you piss off?
A lot of people. Yeah.
Wait, why are you running?
Good.
Why are you running, bitch? Why are you running, bitch? Actually, no, I'm gonna undo it when I spike.
This is bad!
You getting any good footage, Keith, of us all dying?
Not yet.
2 seconds later.
Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Get up. Get up. I did not, in fact, get up.
Want to take it.
Let's talk about button remapping, because that's the main reason I first went to PC. On almost any PC game, in the settings, you can remap any of the buttons to any of the keys that work for you. Unfortunately, just like me, it's gonna take time and experimentation with every game that you first encounter. Just immediately dive into the settings. It's annoying. Sometimes I spend like 2 hours just figuring out what I want to do and what button remaps work best for me in a game. Very inaccessible games can become accessible to yourself without using adaptive equipment. Also, while we are looking at the menus, not only is it important to look into remapping your controls, but there's often an accessibility menu that has options such as toggling things that would normally require holding, or turning off options that would normally require button mashing. Instead, you can just tap it or hold it. It makes games like God of War and so many others so much easier to play. For myself, I really enjoy using my wrist in conjunction with my little poker stick for things like sprinting or aiming down sight in first-person shooters. Also, there are lots of games that have driving. Grand Theft Auto and other driving-focused games often have options to drive with your mouse so that you don't have to worry about poking back and forth on the left and right button. However, what I've found really useful, if there's a first-person shooter game that has driving sections, you can map it so that, say, your W is still your forward, but in the driving controls, your left and right could be your left and right arrow keys, or I find it even more useful, down and right, because they're closer for your thumbs. Also, I would highly, highly suggest getting a full-sized keyboard with a number pad. The reason for this is you can have it very close to your mouse, and with that, you can use things like Enter, plus, minus, 0, the period key as quick actions very close to your mouse. And remember, this mouse has 4 inputs that you can also remap. And that's why customization in each of these games is super important. And you have to take the time to just figure out how a game works for your inputs. All right, though, we're also forgetting our childhood favorites. Emulation. This is a great time for you to reflect on your childhood and remember that you have actually not matured at all. Emulation is so easy on the computer. Remember, legally, you have to own the physical copy of the game in order to emulate it. But if you do, it's as easy as downloading an emulator and then getting your ROM legally and loading it in. And a lot of these emulators have amazing remapping function. And what I often use, especially for games that use analog sticks, is a combination of keyboard inputs along with a plugged-in controller for analog stick control. When it comes to emulating 2D games, I use an app on my phone that runs through Wi-Fi to my computer. This one is called Ultimate Control, but there is a lot of ones out there that are paid and free. You just have to look. And from there, I'm able to play things like Link to the Past and Super Metroid and all of my Game Boy favorites like Pokemon. This also goes the same with a lot of modern games. They will accept both the input of a controller at the same time as keyboard inputs. If not, there are tools out there that can take the input of a controller and make it seem as though it is being inputted by a keyboard. One of the examples is WASD. That will be in the description along with many other resources. That there are third-party tools like Auto Hotkey that you can change anything on your keyboard or mouse to be anything else. This includes making toggle buttons, which can be super helpful for quads. There's resources like Able Gamers, which sometimes funds the entire cost of getting all this adaptive equipment. A really awesome and important resource is the Disabled Gamers Reddit, an open resource for anybody to ask questions of all kinds of disabilities and get some answers and hear learned experiences from people that are probably dealing with the same issues as you. I super recommend reaching out. I also could not make this video without mentioning Game Maker Toolkit. His channel is incredible if you're into anything behind the scenes on game development, but he has yearly videos about accessibility in gaming and how it has advanced. I highly recommend them. Will be in the description. Also, if you are a higher quad than myself, there are tons of people that game using sip and puff devices called the QUADSTICK. It's incredible. It's similar to a keyboard and mouse, except for it's all sip and puff with multiple areas to sip and puff and directional joypad used by your face that can be totally remapped, and there are competitive gamers out there beating able-bodied gamers with just their mouth. Also, if you don't want to commit to an entire Xbox game controller, there are other options out there, like these ones I found here, where you can plug in external third-party buttons that you might use for your elbow or something that can also be remapped. So I hope this has been brief and concise enough that it convinces you that it's worth trying to game. There are so many games out there, whether they are difficult, you're challenging yourself, or you're playing with your friends online, something I never thought I would be able to do, but here I am getting headshot by them in Helldivers. So I encourage each and every one of you to try gaming and don't be discouraged. And please, the comment section is open, I guess now that I'm a YouTuber. Hit that subscribe, maybe like, and I'll see you in the next one. That was awkward, right? I'm sure he'll get better. If not, oops. But thank you for enjoying this first video. Drop suggestions. I have an art account where I do stuff like this. If you want to learn art with limited hand function, let me know and let's do it. Thank you for watching my first video. Kapow!